Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of number sets. This is standard 7.2a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 37 off the 2018 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So let's take a look at integers, rational numbers, and whole numbers. What we need to do is we need to find the Venn diagram that best represents their relationship. So let's just first work on defining them. So integers are whole numbers that can be positive or negative. So they're very similar to whole numbers, but let me give you some examples. -7, 3001, we could do -42, we can also simply do 10. What you're not going to find on integers, you are not going to find any decimals, any mixed numbers, any square roots, anything like that. So integers are going to be whole numbers that are either positive or negative. Now, rational numbers, let's skip that simply because our whole numbers are going to be very, very similar to the integers because we've been using the word whole numbers. So let's get into that one next. Whole numbers. Whole numbers are like integers except positive only. So that's the difference. So you can get 3001, you can get 10, but you can't get -7, you can't get -42, and also you can't get decimals, mixed numbers, fractions, or anything like that. So whole numbers is exactly what it sounds like. Numbers that are positive and that do not go into any decimal places at all. So that brings us to our rational numbers. Now, rational numbers, look at this word ratio here. You see ratio inside there. So rational numbers are numbers that can be viewed as a ratio. So think of a ratio like a fraction. So 1/4 is a rational number because it can be viewed as a ratio. Also, a decimal, 0.7. Because if I wanted to, I could make that 7/10, which means I could make it a ratio. Even if I wanted to do 45%, I could make that a ratio of 45/100. And if I wanted to, just regular whole numbers like 7 could work because I could make it 7/1. It could be -36.5, right? Because if I wanted to, I could make that -36 5/10. So rational numbers is going to include your whole numbers and integers plus a whole lot more. So it looks like my most restrictive set is going to be this whole number. So I just want to take a 10. Let me just write a 10 in each of these whole numbers. Let me see. There we go. All right, I'm going to write 10 in each of these whole numbers and see which of these makes the most sense. So let's look at A. If I write 10 in this whole number, is my 10 a whole number? Yes. That whole number is within a rational number. So is 10 also a rational number? Yes, it is. But here's the problem. 10 is also an integer. It's a positive integer, but it's also an integer. So that whole number needs to be a part of that integer. So A is going to be incorrect. So I'm going to write 10 for B outside here. So 10 is definitely a whole number, but obviously take a look. 10 could be an integer. 10 could be a rational number, and it's outside of either of those, so B is going to be incorrect. C is kind of similar. 10 is outside both rational numbers and outside integers, so that is incorrect. So I really hope my answer is D. Let's take a look. My whole numbers is within my integers, so 10 is a whole number, yes. 10 is also an integer, it's a positive integer. But then my whole numbers is also within this larger one of rational numbers. And so 10 is also a rational number, but there are some rational numbers that live outside of integers and whole numbers, so my answer is D.